Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rod channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. And today's story is kind of a wild one. It's about someone who thinks that buses are fatphobic, just like you read in the title. And before I forget, if you want to be featured on this channel and send in your own story, you can do so by mailing me at rajbusiness@gmail.com. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So today's story got told by one of my university friends, and well, it's kind of a spicy one. You see, he was kind of from this small village, so he always had to take a lot of buses to be able to reach university, and one day he met some crazy chick in the bus. So imagine this, he is waiting for the bus, and I'm telling you, man, this bus line was crazy, because you see, one day it's a criminal, second day there's like this homeless dude trying to ride the bus without even wanting to buy a ticket or like not having money from it. There's tons of problems with that bus line all the time. Like at that point it was kind of an inside joke amongst our friends, because there was always something wrong with that bus line and we always joked about it. So anyways, this bus line goes from three pretty big cities, and in the middle of it there's basically, you know, the middle of nowhere. There's nothing there, a couple of small villages, and he is from one of those small villages. And between those villages there's a couple of bus stops. There's no one at the bus stop always, except during the mornings when people go to work. So one day it was just business as usual until the bus reached this bus stop, like one of the bus stops in the middle of nowhere where there was absolutely no one. There was a really obese woman waiting for the bus, and he kind of looked at her and he already saw that she was kind of a bad omen, that something bad is going to happen, and that exactly did happen. So the bus was already late and the bus driver was already very frustrated, because before he reached that bus stop there was a lot of drama. There were some people that didn't want to pay for the bus ticket, and there were some people being very aggressive. And he had to call like the security guards of that bus stop because the people did not want to leave his bus, and my friend was like in the middle of all of this. But eventually after 5 minutes everything got fixed. So yeah, this woman barely manages to get in the bus because, you know, it's a bit higher than the pavement and she can barely walk. So she grabs onto the handlebars at the side of like the bus door, you know what I'm talking about. And then she's just trying to lift her up and she barely manages to do so. And her face was like really red and she really looked pissed off like crazy. Anyways, the bus driver still had the courtesy to, you know, greet her and be a nice bus driver like always, like usual. And instead of greeting the bus driver back, the woman was just like grunting at him, just like, ugh. You know, she didn't want to say hi to him even. And everyone in the bus just looked at the woman and they were like, okay, well, fine, just move on. Oh, you're that kind of person. All right, we see. So I don't know if you know this, but bus drivers, they will never just drive off if someone is not sitting correctly. Or for example, if a young person is already seated after getting in the bus, they will just drive immediately, because I mean, young people's legs are strong enough to, you know, oppose the G-forces the bus is giving them. But older people and less mobile people like this woman, of course the bus driver is not going to drive off immediately, you know, it's common courtesy. So the bus driver was waiting patiently until the woman has found a chair, and she just looked at the chair and like it already looked like she was not going to fit in the chair. Like she was looking at the chair and would just stand there fuming. And she kind of tried to plant her ass on the chair, but she just couldn't because it was way too narrow for her. And at that moment, I mean, all hell broke loose basically, because this woman decided it was a great idea to start screaming at random bypassers. And I mean, my friend was sitting right next to that chair and she just looked him in the eye and said, "You think this is normal?" And then she pointed at the chair. You think this is normal? This is just a fat-phobic chair, and buses are just fat-phobic. They are made to spite fat people. This is literally what she said. And when he told me this, I was just like, what the hell is this? How is this person even real? And at that moment, everyone in the bus started looking at the bus driver, and then everyone was kind of getting anxious because what the hell are you supposed to do in these situations, right? I mean, the bus driver probably knows better. And the man is just staring at her, you know, folding his arms and not wanting to do anything. Like, he's had enough. He's been dealing with these types for like as long as he's working as a bus driver at this point. And the woman was like, hey, bus driver, what the hell are you thinking? Find me a chair on this bus where I can fit. And the bus driver, what a poor soul this man is, because he just told her, well, I can't do anything, miss. You will have to just find your own chair. And if you can't fit in the bus, well, I'm sorry, but you will either have to stand or we will not be able to drive off with you. And at that moment, this fat lady literally just transformed into this Karen Prime. It is your greatest nightmare. Not only was she a fat terrorist, she also became a Karen in this instant. And how do I know this? Well, you know what she said? She told the bus driver, call your manager. Yeah, right, it's that time of the year again. And I mean, I guess the bus driver was just so tired of this bullshit. He was just so tired in general. He was like, all right, I don't want to lose my job probably. I have to do what this lady says. So what he did is he called his manager and he called in a security, I guess. And so a moment has passed. Well, a moment, I would say like 10 minutes have passed. And my friend over here, he had to wait in the bus before everything was like resolved. And he was already running late for like the morning lectures, which were at like 8:30. And he is heavily dependent on these buses because if these buses don't run well, like he can barely even reach university in the first place. And then he has to loan his dad's car, and his dad's is always working, so sometimes he can't even borrow the car in the first place. So yeah, after 10 very long eternal minutes, which yeah, felt like an eternity, a security and a manager, literally the manager of the bus company, came and he looked at the situation. Or at first, that is what my friend thought at first. But you see, this guy was actually not the manager, but he was a security officer. And he just straight up came up to the lady and he told her, Miss, you have to step out the bus right now because we got a complaint from the bus driver. And at that moment, it was like 150 sirens went off because this Karen started screeching and screaming, and like she was already red like a tomato and she got even more red. And apparently after that, she also started spitting for some reason at like random bystanders. Luckily not at my friend because he already just left the bus. He thought it was not worth it, man. He thought it would be better for his own sanity to just leave this bus and grab the next one because he did not want to deal with his BS like one extra minute. And I mean, it's not really an exam he had to go to. It was just a morning lecture. I mean, whatever. He can just be too late. I mean, whatever. Our professor was pretty chill about it anyway. So yeah, that is exactly what happened. All's well that ends well. Anyways, the best way to support my channel is to binge watch my story videos. They are showing up on the screen right now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button. It would mean the world to me. Subscribe if you are new on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.